Infurnia offers live panel tracking for your work orders as well. For this, let's say we are creating a new work order by adding this design link. So this is my design file where I have two cabinets to show as an example, and I will create a work order here, naming the work order as test for panel tracking, and I'm adding the design link here, create. Once the work order is created, you can check the cabinets panel wise and verify them. Ensure that the cabinets are verified properly and then enable the units for manufacturing. Only if the cabinet is enabled for manufacturing will you be able to see them in panel listing and track them as well. So I have enabled this for manufacturing now. Then if I go into panel listing here, I can see that C1 7 panels and again C2 7 panels exist here. And herein in panel listing you can see the tracking that out of the 14 panels, 14 are not yet started since we have not added any tracking details right now. So in output, you can go ahead and generate your panel label. Herein in panel label, you have an option called QR code. So if you turn this on, then there will be a QR code that will be generated with each panel on the right top. Then I'll go ahead and download this panel label now. So you can see that these panel labels are now generated, and against each panel label there is a QR code which I can use to update the status of the panels. So herein you will be able to see back to work orders. So let me go into back to work orders. Now flip to the tracking section here. Herein you can see that there is an option of select station. When you click on the drop down, you can see the three stations that we have, which are panel cutting, edge banding and CNC. This is basically the three steps that are required to complete a panel manufacturing. At each of these three stations in your manufacturing unit, you would require a computer system and a QR scanner so that the tracking can be done via scanning all these QR codes which we have just shown you. So first of all, in every station, they need to select the station that they are working in. So let's say I'm selecting panel cutting here. So once the panel cutting is completed, they can fix the panel label over the particular panel and scan the QR code. As soon as the QR code is scanned, you can see that the panel details will start showing here. So C2P11 is a shutter panel, and you can see the work order's name, test for panel tracking. You can see all the details here, and by default this will be auto approved and you can move to the next item and scan it continuously. You can see I have scanned the next item. So this is C1P19 again, shutter panel. So in this way you can keep scanning everything and update the status of the panel as such. However, if you notice any defects and you want to reject the panel, then you can select this option, and herein you have to give a reason as to why you're rejecting it. Let's say I'm selecting damage here and proceed. So now let's go to the work order. Here you can see in panel cutting, one panel is completed for panel cutting. If I go into the details now, if I go inside the work order and in panel listing now, you will be able to see that C1P19 was rejected at panel cutting due to damage, and this particular shutter panel, which is C2P11, is now at a status of panel cutting done. Similarly, let's go into the work order tracking again. Herein, let's select the next station of edge banding. So if you select the next station now, so similarly you can scan any number of panels here using the QR code, and these will be auto approved for this particular stage. Similarly, we'll go to CNC station now and we will scan couple of panels here as well. Again, these are done. So if I go into work order, you can now see that in this particular work order, in panel cutting, one panel is done. In edge banding, 3 panels are done. And in CNC, 2 panels are completed. I can also click on this here and open the work order. go into panel listing, and the status of every panel can be checked. In this way, you can check the status of your work order panel by panel. You can see the cumulated data here of not started 8 panels out of 14, panel cutting done 1 out of 14, edge banding 3 out of 14, CNC 2 out of 14, and rejected panels 1 out of 14. So a cumulative data will also be shown to you for your understanding, and in this way you can track all your panels live in Infurnia's MES portal.